think the indoctrination we're under, it's hectic. All the generational bindings making us poor. Taught money doesn't grow on trees. Money is the root of all evil. Words are spells, right? Don't use them against yourself. It's a lot. I never looked at it for what it was until recently, but just like the crows stay in that certain spot in England, whereas like on London Bridge, there's like 5 crows that have got to stay in position, otherwise the monarchy will fall. And all monarchists know that. I didn't know that. And I thought that if we didn't believe in magic, then it doesn't work on us. If you don't believe, it won't work. Well, how come the whole world was under a spell that those guys were the good guys? I'm not picking on the monarchy. I did really like the monarchy myself, but somebody who can get around wearing a whole big crown worth $1 million while people are starving in Africa, and when there's real change going to change it, so say Bono and Live Aid and that, he just shut up. He went and did what he did, and then he shut up. Why did he shut up? First of all, we were in the Piscean Age of Darkness, where everything was hidden, cloaked. We didn't know what was going on really. But it was an enchantment. Just like Disney cartoons we saw growing up. They were also enchantments. Alright, I know how I sound, but seriously, this stuff is real. So are the spells on us. Being without money, without being able to pursue our dreams in life or what's important to us. The societies we aren't welcome in literally have been siphoning our abundance. Some of us, depending on our places in spiritual realms. And what I'm talking about there is spiritual ranking. Previously in the Age of Darkness, we had people cloaking in our energies in the spiritual realms, creating havoc and absolutely bringing denigration to our names. Since that time, the Age of Aquarius has stepped in. We've lifted the vibration, and also the Watchers now have watches. So all the stuff that they were able to get away with in the past is just a non-possibility. Been through a few dark nights of the soul myself, and I've been attacked by the invisible, because magic doesn't exist, right? That doesn't explain. The magician from London walking through the walls in the record stores. Do you remember that guy? I think his name was Magneto, or I don't know, but he like just walked through something and everybody was like, what the bull? And there's other ones, and it's not trick of the eye. These people are able to bend reality like that. Like, they're absolutely magical. Magneto, yeah. Anyway, we're all leveling up again. The vibration of the planet is lifting, and that's planet Kai crystal. And I know that a lot of us who have had religious indoctrination have been pushed away from a lot of the things in our lives that can actually remove the demonic forces that are pushing against us. And that's like acknowledging that we've got chakras. The people who are part of these societies and work in the religious structures and things like that, they know the power of our chakras. I had a lady hook in to mine and siphon from my solar plexus chakra, cut off. You know, but you don't know that you've got to protect yourself in these spiritual streets. You might be someone who is being sent here to create and be an absolute catalyst for change, but you've had attacks on you, causing you addiction, causing you just absolute turmoil in your life. That's to keep you small, that's to keep you in your place, and that's to stop you from doing your destiny. That can't go on forever. In starseeds as well, you're going to find that any spiritual person that came into your life, or spiritual mentor that you thought, you know, was a spiritual mentor, they end up taking advantage of you. But you've also got to remember that you don't blow so much smoke up their asses, because it's not like they're telling you anything new, they're just reminding you, and that's probably why you're so grateful, because they're reminding you of all the things that you inherently know within your soul already, and it's you that should be in their positions, actually, particularly with a lot of the ones that are getting lots of views and things like that at the moment. Some of them are just running into demonic forces, and that's the only reason they're in those positions. And then they get in front of people and they're pulling out energy from them, and it's like, whoa, you're energy harvesting, like, without morals. Like, I have done a couple of videos where I'm doing the energy work, and I would like to continue those, but after seeing such corruption within it, this girl knew I was going to expose her, and her next few, knew I was going to expose her. She didn't know who I am. It's not even the type of person I am. I wouldn't waste my time. But I knew what she was doing. And next few videos she put out were all counteracting me. And it was like, whoa, okay, whatever. You're on some sort of trip that I don't even pay attention to. I think I saw it a couple of months later and went, whoa, chick seemed to think I was going to do that. And I've actually got it recorded.
I don't know what you did to make the angelic realm ride this hard for you. They want you with your game face on because they are about to make an example out of you. I'm here to activate you at your sacred.
And then she reaches in and starts taking energy. The scary part about that is she had like 40,000 views. How do we know stuff like that? We know that because we're spiritual beings. Also, there was a few years ago, the law of one. I did an invocation, and in the invocation I gave my power away. If you guys have taken in any invocations or anything like that, you might want to recheck the wording and just make sure that it's for your highest good. Look, for the good of all, to the harm of none. I mean, that's how it should be. And when you find people that are saying that, for the good of all, to the harm of none, they're people you want to get soul work from. Because if they're not doing that kind of stuff and they're not making sure that a most benevolent outcome is for all, they're only looking after themselves. And there's a lot of people out here in the spiritual streets that are only looking out for themselves. And how do I know? They've taken advantage. I'm not going to name names or anything like that because it's not even the type of person I am. I don't even know how I got onto this subject. I'm telling you guys about the Queen. Not sure how it's all going to unfold, but the truth is seen. So where's the cash? Somebody better show up with it soon. How did I get to that? Oh, saying on our financial things, some of us are glittering in gold in the spiritual realms, and we come down to earth. But anyone cloaking in your energy is revealed from this moment forward. The emotional manipulation is revealed. Hearing things like, let's be who we came to this world to be. Wouldn't that be me? I came here to be me. How did I get the snitch bitch job? I tell you, last night I walked into a live and the dude was talking about soul retrieval. And I was like, because I recognised who it was. It was this dude who thought he'd stolen my soul and was using my energy. It's like, dude, you've got your own. It can't be that bad. You and your missus need to like pull your heads in. Oh, I can't imagine. It looked like spiritual psychosis to me because they were obviously doing like a ceremony where they were trying to do soul retrieval from their audience. So there'll be specific targets that they've got in the collective. And the shame about it is when I first clicked on, there are about 190 people in there. And it got down to about 140 after, instruction went out saying, put a stop to this shit. And why do some of us get to come down here and be judges and dob on people and stuff like that? Because we yelled, we screamed up to the higher realms as soon as we could get through. And during the entirety of the Piscean Age of Darkness, we're talking thousands of years. Thousands! Sorry to be so energetic about that, thousands. But yet we couldn't get up to have our voices heard, and so much of this corruption was allowed to go on that we're allowed to speak our truth now, and we are getting the support in droves. It's like in 2019 I actually saw like battalions of demonic forces going to battle, and they were going to battle for God. Like, wow. I never would have actually thought that they would be going to battle on behalf of God. But divine universal laws, God's word is final. And when I say creator God, because I know some people are going, creator God, because he is not God. It's a lower realm God, because you wouldn't be walking around in the Garden of Eden saying, I couldn't find you, I'm so angry, and putting divine anger on Eve and that guy who refused to let Lilith ride on top of him. Adam. Yeah, it just wouldn't happen. They're all knowing God. Think about it. But anyway, I don't go much for the book. I'm not getting trapped in mental matrices, which is what that is. But this jerk and his missus, which he pretends he's a single guy and he tries to draw in women that way, that's just fucking unacceptable. Still like deceiving a whole community and making money out of it. It's like a whole group of them on TikTok. You guys are especially fucked up though. Like, should I put footage on it? Should I put footage? These guys were trying to do soul retrieval through like, I'm just like, what, soul fragmentation? I just kept doing the work that they wouldn't even know how the fuck to do. Like, seriously. So many people's souls got restored in their entireties by teams of freaking otherworldly beings. And it's not like I do anything, oh, I'm the almighty powerful or something like that, or I think I'm God. No, it's somebody's got to do the right thing. It's called integrity. So many of you people in these spiritual streets just aren't even comprehending how eternal our souls are. How's that chick on the video earlier? Just reaching in, taking energy. She had 40,000, 50,000 views, and she's just like saying something ridiculous to people on the screen and then just reaching in and taking their energy. No agreement, but still watching is agreement. Unless you state, not in my world. If somebody wants to create that exchange and has that intention, it's possible, if we don't know, to defend ourselves against it. Let's place in protection for all beings that don't know that they need to look out for these things. Don't know that you need protection. May you get a physical sign in your body that says click off, beep, 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 where. This person's bad news. And then even if you aren't spiritual, you are then to go do a calling your energy back to you. And even if that's, opening up your meridians by doing a Tai Chi exercise or, but actually consciously say, you've got guides and you've got all sorts of spiritual protection that stands beside you bored. Absolutely bored. You're lucky some of them are multidimensional. Otherwise, oh, gosh, they'd be poking you, and maybe some of them do. But they are there for, if you're over 30 years old or over 40 years old, you've experienced a miracle that makes you go, how the fuck am I even still alive? Like, you just know that even if you can't consciously remember anything right now, you just know that you're here because... Or do we just get thrown around from realm to realm and we're actually dead in 1,000 other existences? So everything, everywhere, all at once. If that's the case, I call my rich girl in right now. I call the money in so we can affect change on a greater level across the world that are getting taken advantage of right now. And New Earth is here. And it's time for us to step up and make these simple changes. And it's really interesting when you come into the knowing of just how exceptionally powerful you are, even as one being. A molecule is changed just from the observer. And that could just be you. If no one hears this video, it's irrelevant. There's one person that has observed the situation, the molecules change direction. Of like-minded, they're getting guided together. Gone are the days where, being hidden was the thing, or instant repulse between like-minded beings. It's really ironic, especially there's no illusion that some of us are purposely being separated from Soul Tribe, because people who you really resonate with, you can't even get in contact with via Facebook. You know what I mean? You've actually got to walk down the street, go over to their house. Dickheads don't even know we're that close, do they? Oh, yeah, you got a separated Facebook. Oh, their account is like blocked to you. So on Facebook, I used to probably get 20 and 50 likes on my posts. And then all of a sudden it just dropped down and I just started to get a group of stalky kind of weirdos. I had to block thousands of people. My stats that would show up, there was one that I got like 150 likes on. I was super stoked about that. So I remembered what it was. You know what I mean? Like there's just some things that stick in your memory. But it came back around as a memory and all my likes were gone. No one liked it. And I'm like, what's going on? So it made me realize my stuff was being manipulated. And then I found that creative IQ and they're so lucky at the moment because their name escapes me, but I've bagged them heaps of times on here. But they had access to my accounts. And also there'd been emails sent to some advertising agency from my info at Kai Crystal. And also, how do they get access to these accounts? Well, some jerk is going around pretending they're your agent or something like that. And if I'm telling this story, it applies to other people, not just me. If this is giving anybody they are in my internet vibes, like I've lost it, just refer back to those photographs of Get Fellow and that have been put in the video. Like I hold the receipts. I hold them in hard copy and I hold them on my phone because they do disappear from the phone. And I don't care who's stalking my phone these days. Give less fucks. Do you want to come to the toilet with me and watch me wipe? Because I just don't care anymore. And this is the reason why.
Can you see that one?
No, that's okay, sir.
No, because the flyer.
That was about 3 years ago when he came in and installed some stuff in our chimney and in our bathrooms, claiming that they were gifts from the government. And I was like, how come you're just coming to our house? Can I see your ID? And he wouldn't show me his ID. He didn't have ID. He'd been sent by somebody who, I don't know. I don't even know why the people in my house agreed that he could come inside. I was the only one who was like up in arms saying, what the hell, we're going to let this weirdo guy in our house doing what? And he was up to no good. And yes, the surveillance or whatever started then. And at this point, I was like, come at me, bitches, because I just do not care. And I haven't lost my shit. I have just gone, why? And how far up does it go? And how serious is it? And it's supposed to induce spiritual psychosis. And yeah, I guess I've been through it, thinking my whole family was turning on me, thinking this was happening. But when you have a look and see that there's a whole collective of people going through the same thing, you realize it's a bit of a matrix program that I don't need anything to do with. Spiritually, raise above it and take them to the toilet with you. Have them go through your phone. Do whatever they want to do because who gives a fuck? I don't care. I'm not afraid of AI, although I do see AI as being somewhat dark and a little bit morbid. But I'll go into that on another video. Anyway, I'm not being paranoid when I say that these creative IQ and Get Philo are orchestrated to specifically like shadow ban or shadow box people's accounts so they're not seen by anyone. And when I get some normal people interacting with me on my videos, my group, I click on this guy's post that he's posted and he's talking about starseeds, and for some reason it drops into this video talking about women and how men feel unheard. And then I wrote this whole big blurb at the bottom of this guy's post about the video I'd just seen on his post. And then when I realized he didn't do it, I kind of accused him of doing it. He's probably the most normal person I've had approach me in years. Like the last time he contacted me was 2020, so he's been on my friends list forever. And I just turned on him thinking that he had something to do with that video popping up, but it wasn't. I'm just getting messed with on Facebook by Meta. I guess it's all tied in with all of it, but that's like government and anyway. I mean, don't speak out against people getting vaccines in their arm. Don't head up a group of 13,000 people all saying you guys are bad news, because I did that in 2020 and I guess I suffered the consequences for it, but I think it more had something to do with, I didn't even want to go there. But regardless, it was all to induce spiritual psychosis and get me in a psych ward. I saw the exact same situation play out 10 years earlier when they targeted, no, 25 years, 30 years earlier when they targeted my brother, and he did succumb to it and has suffered. And it's not fair, but when I saw the same kind of games being played, it makes you realize it's just like with narcissists. If you notice globally, narcissistic injury is always the same. Like they're running the same tactics worldwide. So it's like a demonic force. I always used to think, oh, Jezebel, that's so religious, but it actually is a force that comes through people. And call it what you want. It's an energy that is not of this world. It is invoked. It is to non-sovereign human beings. And the truth is, 90% of what actually exists within this realm, we can only see 10% of it. And a lot of it's because it's vibrating faster than we can see. And that's other realms as well are vibrating on different frequencies. So say when I said, called out to the fairies and they did a fairy ring for me. Now, it could have been the fact that there's mushroom spores ready to grow because there's a dead tree under the ground there. But funnily enough, they never grew these ring of mushrooms, which is a fairy ring of mushrooms, and they're called fairy mushrooms, has never grown before I called out to the fairies, and it's never grown after. It was just on that weekend where I was like, fairies, show up for me. So we live in an absolute magical realm. And if you want to call me crazy for acknowledging that there are different realms and they vibrate on different frequencies, and that's why they're not visible to the eye, and that's why some of us can see ghosts. I've always seen ghosts since I was a child. It used to freak me out. I actually don't see them anymore because of my spiritual practices. I just don't have them in my energy. But when I was vulnerable and I had people around me that weren't good for me, and one of them thought she was like, oh, she believed in a higher power and thought she was in a bit, sent something to me and I saw it in the mirror and it freaked out when it saw me and it just went. But if anybody sends something to you, they've got to show up. Doesn't mean they're going to do anything, but they do the bidder's request. I don't understand why they would do it, but anyway, I saw something in the mirror when I was hanging out with this horrible girl who I didn't realize how dark she was. But yeah, I never understood. I was friends with her for like 20 years and she used to introduce me to her friends and they were always mean to me or looked down, like they weren't kind to me. And I couldn't understand why, because I'm a bit stupid sometimes or just a bit green, you know, just expecting the best of everybody in some ways, like that pure innocent heart. I hope I never lose it, although it's a little bit jaded. But I was always like, when she introduced me to her friends and they were like that, I always thought there was something wrong with me. It wasn't until afterwards when I fully got her out of my life, because I was just like, you are trash. And you have, like, having a frenemy in your life is more detrimental than having an enemy, because the frenemy is like fucking up your life and smiling at you in your face, and that just ain't cool. may all cloaks be removed on any frenemies. But if anybody ever says to you, keep your friends closer and your enemies closer or whatever, just get rid of them out of your life. You don't need that in your life. Wish them well, but actually don't even. You're allowed to be as angry and furious at that as you want to be. And I thought I'd forgiven, but yeah, I've been pretty angry about it. Well, all my divine anger's been coming through in the last couple of months, which is great because I'm invoking the darker goddesses. Not invoking, but really working with their energies and, yeah, appreciating the darkness and the light and integrating the shadow. And if we don't integrate the shadow, we're going to be fake fucks like that bitch was, smiling in my face while stabbing me in the back. But I always have been the kind of chick who will tell people to their faces. So I had this girl from high school, and I think she was trying to bully me. Like, she befriended me, and she only ever liked two of my posts, and she befriended me about a year ago, but they were both bullying posts when I was talking about getting bullied, because, yeah, I got pretty badly bullied. And yes, I probably did bully people in high school as well who really don't like me. I was just trying to be funny. But, yeah, they held grudges. But it was more about me being honest, because everyone was saying it behind people's backs, but I'd always be the one to say it to their faces, which wasn't cool. But, yeah, I probably shouldn't have done that. But I'm the type of person who'll say it to their face, not only behind their back, whereas a lot of people are just bitches and will always say it behind their back and never to their face, which I think sucks. So anyway, I'm not into passive aggressiveness. So I said to this chick, look, you befriended me about a year ago. You've only liked two of my posts and both of them were about me being bullied. Don't you think you need to move on? Like, yeah, you feel like I bullied you in high school, and I did, and I'm sorry. I was jealous of you. And I was. And I was unhealed, so I was taking it out on another human being, which is completely unacceptable. Did I know that as a teenager? No. Do I hate myself for it? No. Am I holding myself accountable? Yes, I did that. I hope she's okay, but I'm not going to be bullied or we're not continuing the cycle. It's like once we get to a certain age, it's like whatever happened to us as children, it is, and whatever we did as children, is our responsibility to go within and do the healing work ourselves. And this whole passive aggressive, like, haha, you're being bullied now, or I'm going to like this post because you're talking about bullying. How dare you talk about bullying? You were my bully at school. And it's like, I didn't think I was your bully. Maybe I was the only bully that said it to your face. But I think she's an incredible person. But maybe that's the problem with people who put up posts of like feigned spirituality or feigned kind of goodness within. Maybe that's why we are met with skepticism and people are like, oh, that's bullshit. This person isn't who they say they are. Well, who else are they going to be? I guess just posting memes won't really display any sort of character that you display, but if somebody's writing and speaking and being themselves, who else are they going to be? Anyway, I am who I am. I make no excuses for what I did as a teenager, but I do know that I'm sorry for her pain, but it's our responsibility as adults to heal that within ourselves. And yeah, gloating that, I'm the one getting bullied now, or I was getting bullied. It got really intensive, as you can see. But I'm here to tell my story and speak to others that are going through it in the same way that I did, and know that you're not alone. No matter how isolated they try to make you seem or feel, you're not alone. And now's the time, rather than turning to, like, they speak of high rates of suicide within men. If this is happening to men out there as well, this is how we're losing them. There's so many things that just need to be brought to the surface and spoken about so people can free themselves and we can all be free of the rubbish that we've been put through. And I really want to put this behind me because I've got so much spiritual work that I do on this earth, and I do it for the good of humanity, and that's being able to move souls along to other planes. And we've got so many disembodied souls here. We've got these demonic forces that are working through people, like narcissistic people, and also this whole scenario that happened to me. The same thing happened to my brother 25 years ago. He was speaking of witches and warlocks and saying this was happening and this was happening. So I kind of had to become the observer while all of this was happening to me and go, I saw them do this to my brother, and they're not going to lead me down the same path. And they hadn't intended to. That's the thing. I have been targeted since I was a young girl, and all of it was for the aim of being able to take out my light at one point by a man. And what happened, anyway, it's very hard to go into all of this at the moment. There are many videos that I've done on the subjects, and call it for entertainment purposes only. But if it frees some souls out there and has people realizing, yes, sometimes we are getting fucked with. Okay, if you think you're being fucked with, you very well may be. And that sounds very paranoid. However, once you've been through the mud, you just know. And also, I've always been intuitive, except I hadn't realized how much I could trust myself until I got to this point. And look, the worst things happen to us for the greatest reasons sometimes. And maybe that's because we're here to make a difference and let everybody know that that shit is to stop. And it's been called in the higher realms. And gang stalking isn't just a spiritual thing. It is fully evidence that I have been attacked on my phone, my Gmail, my Facebook. Speaking of TikTok, I would put up comments on this girl's live who I know she wouldn't ignore me. Like, she's not that type of person. There was that boy who thinks he's stealing souls and, the spiritual psychosis one, thinking he's using other people's energies and whatnot. I'm sure he's got beautiful energies himself. He doesn't need to go stealing other people's. Oh, bizarro land. But he purposely ignored me, and that was targeted because what they do is they ignore women and make them look and feel desperate. I don't really care. I just thought he was a weirdo, but thought he was really nice the whole time and really liked the information that he was giving, because he does seem very spiritual, but he's a witch, which is cool. I've been a pretty magical being since I was young, so I've been performing miracles on myself, apparently. There was a doctor that said I cured my own eyesight, but it's not me performing the miracles, it's the connection into the higher realms, it's the connection into the healing energies that are all here for us. I mean, if we have a look at our bodies, if we fall over, what happens immediately? A scab forms. Our bodies, absolute masterful machines. And I'm going to be doing a talk next week, and we're getting some really good insights from a good friend of mine, so look out for that one. Thanks for listening if you have listened this far, and hopefully I've helped shift something for you. And if you do want to speak to somebody about if you're going through similar, or if there is a policeman or there is an agency that will actually hold these people accountable for what they've done, I would be very, very interested in prosecuting for the loss of my business, the loss of my social credibility, the loss of
what has happened to me has been brutal, and it's all in the aim of a humiliation ritual. So I guess it'll never get looked at because per capita in Australia, we have 1 in every 10 part of this group that is apparently affiliated. And actually, I really thought that this group was highly respectable, and I would actually think that there would be a lot of members that would not be down for what was happening to a soul like myself and to many other innocent souls, because you're all guilty. Anyone agreeing to this, allowing it, turning a blind eye, knowing what's happening and not doing anything about it. And I'm not the only one. There are thousands of people just like me that are suffering and turning a blind eye. We are infinite beings. We are down on earth in this dense reality, having a spiritual, having a human experience, but we are still very spiritual beings, and universal divine natural laws have been encumbered, and I have been wronged, and there are many people being wronged. And if you think you can just look the other way and get away with it, that's fine, whatever. But the one true law, natural divine universal law, let us move freely upon the land, causing no harm, loss, or injury to another living soul. Now, I'm not saying we all have to be perfect beings, but we don't just turn the other way when this is happening to people on the daily. And it's not fair and it's not right. And I'm calling it out. I'm saying it how I say it. And it's not fair. And if it won't be judged here on earth, it'll be judged afterwards, because I am adamant. I was one of the beings that screamed up to God and got the attention of the higher realms as soon as we broke through the veil into the age of Aquarius, and make no doubt about it, it is unstoppable. And ironically, even the devil has to obey divine universal law. So even the people who are doing the devil's work are getting punished by him anyway. So look, it's all going to work out in the wash. It would be a lot nicer if we could get this information out worldwide and free up the souls that are suffering. And maybe instead of putting perfectly sane people into mental hospitals because they're suffering in circumstances like this and not able to come through it as I have, and instead we'll put the crazy motherfuckers that are actually doing this to people purposely to fuck with them, to hurt them, to impede upon them, to genuinely fuck up people's lives for fun. A humiliation ritual, you would call it. And I have so many of them evidenced. And the evidence is everywhere. And if it doesn't get dealt with here, it's being dealt with anyway. And I think people are seeing the karma in their own lives, and that ain't no joke, because I'm seeing my karma in my own life as well. And to be stopped from my purpose, and to have people in the spiritual community attacking me, oh God, I tell you, go read your Bible story of Job and pretend to be this spiritualist, but you're just blowing smoke up other people's asses, which is fine because, you know, I do that and I get a lot of views as well. But then I realise other people are going through the same shit, but these people who are taking on somebody else's story and using it as their own while trying to keep people like me silenced, who have really actually gone through it, is bullshit. Is utter bullshit. And judgment, 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 justice. Anyway, it's not about that. Who cares? Even when I was still putting my stuff on Facebook because I don't care if anybody views it or not, because the fact is the message was still getting out. So there were bigger creators looking at my work and using it anyway. So the fact of the matter is I'm not going to be all precious about it. As long as the message is still getting out, that's all that matters. And that's all that mattered to me. And I didn't stop for the 3 years. I didn't stop creating. I didn't stop pushing. And ironically, I believe in the natural laws of cause and effect. I believe in the natural law, in the divine universal laws, natural divine universal laws, and the law of compensation. And I'm open to it. And if that's just blessing me for lifetimes after this, whatever, so be it. But it deserves to happen now. And I want to free up people who are suffering the same, because what happened to me was bullshit. Just putting it mildly. People separated and isolated through this. And it's a massive impingement on human rights. You know, like it's been reported to the universal laws, and people are suffering real time in their own lives. Like, get this as well. I was having people harass me and try to do parent domination control with my photos, and also even just making a comment like, oh, thanks, babe, and stuff like this on the bottom of my thing, until like I put in, it's like you've got to actually say, I am rubber, you are glue. Everything you say to me bounces off me and sticks on you. Tit, you know, like, because I actually do that as a rule now. Because fuck them. And actually I make it so much worse than that. I, in my own opinion, have become unfuckwithable. Why? Because I've actually realized how much power we all have. And it's incredible that now that the shift has occurred, well, it's actually integrity. The integrity of the population really needs lifting. So basically anybody working with integrity and from integrity is unbeatable by corrupted forces. And what I was saying about those demonic forces in the sky earlier is God has the final say so. It's even like the devil can play with us, or actually I think with some of us, the devil is absolutely amazed by the heart that you've got, which is weird, right? It's weird, but I'm getting that some of you, the devil has just been like, he knows why you're God's people. He knows why. And just has never seen, or probably the most closest thing to, I don't know the emotions that you evoked within the devil. Think about that. We're talking about the devil with your love as a child for people that were doing you wrong. Like, but that utter, I don't know, I just want to cuddle you, and I just want you to know that there's something very special about you, and I couldn't even give you enough cuddles with my heart at the moment, and just know that you are divinely loved, divinely protected, and even the devil's got a soft spot for you. And also the devil knows with a lot of divine beings, chosen ones, whatever, just fucking people with good hearts that are uncorruptible, that choose to be good. And you don't have to have chose to be good all of your life. You might have had a catalyst that made you choose to be good. And look, it's the same with people who are still doing bad at the moment. You can choose to be good. Come over from the dark side. But you can't, because we've still got to have that balance, don't we? That polarity. And people can say, oh, we can go through polarity, but they also used to say that they could absolve their karma too. And I don't know, unless it's like karma that has been created by a series of events that a darker force perpetuated. But really, I mean, if you're injuring souls and doing stuff like I have been to hell and back for karma, for being a bad, bad bitch. And maybe I've been a bad, bad bitch in many lifetimes. I don't know. But when you go through your dark night of the soul, you're either going to find the other side, which is no longer be on the earth anymore, or you're going to really turn on God and say, fuck you, God. I think I turned on God for most of my life. It was when I found God. Or you're going to find God through born again Christians. And then what are you really finding then? You're finding demons. And you're going to get locked out of heaven with that one, because you're going to be saying to people, well, the only way to get to Jesus is, no, the only way to get to heaven is through Jesus. And yeah, the only way to put on your armour of God is to stop judging everybody. And we can, look, even the highest vibrational beings down here in this density can only put on that armour of God for so long, because you've got to actually walk in the no hate, no judgment, no nothing. You know what I mean? Just only powerful love. And I just picture the machine gun heart. And when you've got a machine gun heart, you're unstoppable. But anyway, there ain't no reason all of us should be alone or isolated or ignored. Because I'll tell you something. I was getting annoyed because someone was making fun of me. And then for some reason, we do get all these illusions and stuff. So it looked like perhaps that I'd sent some bad energy that person's way, but I hadn't. I knew I hadn't, but I knew he thought I had, because I'm a psychic. Anyway, then he blocked me straight afterwards. And I was like, that was my mate. I don't have many mates. It was like, Doc Holliday. Oh, hell, I got lots of friends. And Doc Holliday goes, like he rides for Wyatt Earp. And he goes, I don't. You know, like, hell, I got lots of friends. I don't. No, I really don't. It's called being isolated quite purposely. For what reason? Truth be told, maybe I'm just not likable. Still doesn't stop when I do get amongst the public, them telling me their whole life stories. No, I've done it all to myself, haven't I? Whatever's on the outside is what is on the inside. People who are good uns, like good people, that may all the veils drop on illusions so we can all find each other again, because it's getting a bit ridiculous, isn't it? Also, there's another chick, I can't think of her name, Alexander. I don't think she would have blocked me unless she's like a fake nice girl. Maybe. She could be. I don't think so, though. She seems like she's genuine. I don't know. But how's anybody ever going to book a session with her if when you click her bios? And you know what? It's happened on all my profiles, because I've got different profiles, because that's going into people's posts and being nice to them. Only Kai Grizzle, because anybody else like doesn't. So yeah, I've gone incognito too, and always had my personal account since Facebook opened in like 2008. But this chick, Alexander Can or something, like all my accounts she's like blocked from. So if you're out there, you're hearing this and you're not getting much work or many people joining your courses, nobody knows what your website is. Nobody knows how to get in contact with you and cannot see your profile page. Your stories show up. So maybe if you start putting on there your contact details, I don't know what else to suggest. You're actually unfindable. I don't know why I was searching for you either. I think it's because I thought you were a sweetie. But you may be offended with me because you've got a lot of forgiveness work you need to still work through. Turns out so do I. I'm fucking raging. dark feminine energy at the moment, and Kali, Lilith, and Hecate. Ironically, those people that were doing this soul retrieval, stealing people's souls, they think they've got Hecate on their team. They do not. They do not. They may have a false light, Hecate, but yeah, no, she's actually like a divine goddess that would not, just would not. Wake up. You need a bloody shake up. Anyway, moving forward. Yes, she does malevolent magic, but only on the bad people. She'd do it on you. Think about it. Anyway, going back to this Alexander McCann, I couldn't contact her to book an appointment if I wanted to. I don't know what that's about. Is this the same happened to me? People couldn't contact me if they wanted to at all. And same goes for that. This guy, I can see he's specifically been isolated. Yeah, it's really weird. It's really weird. Do you know we're all gods? Like, I don't mean to say, oh, she's gone crazy. She thinks she's a god. No, the power of our mind can actually shift the universe. Close your eyes for a second. And now I want you to bounce them open. See the world that you've created. It's all around you. So with all this negative information that I've just spread, let's alchemize it now and take out the negative energy that's associated with it, the negative beings, all the negative connotations that I've kind of implanted. I have touched on these particular points to alchemize them. And now that we've looked at them, we've seen them, they're not that bad. And we could really say, let's get the goddess to go nuts, because the goddesses are angry. Actually, they're furious at the patriarchy for ignoring them for over 5,000 years. But shall I get into that? No. I shall have a laugh and say, Lilith laughs and says, they blame me for their wet dreams too. A man has a wet dream. He turns around and goes, who's responsible? Lilith. Any kind of sick, twisted, pervaded activity, who was responsible? Lilith. Back in the day, she was the scapegoat. Always got to have a scapegoat. Anyway, I find that very funny. I was listening to some of Morg's stuff, and I heard that, and I thought that was great. Into the Bible and actually allowing that to be one of the tricks, traps, because that's all it is. It's a matrix trap that keeps us stuck. But I'm trying to work out if the mathematics is a matrix trap as well. Anyway, I hope I brought up some great points that can be expanded upon, and I hope nobody resonated with some of the stuff I said there, because I know I nearly burst into tears when I tapped into something back there. The devil being like, feeling for you, like just wanting to go and grab you up. That's crazy. That shouldn't even happen. But some of us, and I'm sensing it's that person, it's that one, you have gone around and you have, throughout lifetimes, you have brought demons back to God. They have been with God. They can go back and be naughty or whatever, but they've got that kind of connection back to Him. Whereas so many of us can fall so far into darkness. And I think your soul possibly had previously fallen so far away from the light that you never, and just got darker and darker and darker, because you couldn't even fathom that you could actually get back into the light. You have brought redemption forces from the underworld, this world, and the realms above. Like, if they say that you've got to have agreement in all three realms, that's what I witnessed play out on that thing last night, where they thought they were retrieving people's souls, for goodness sake. And it's not just the couple. I think they're part of a coven, and they read all these books, and it's like all of that information that you're reading in books should be innate knowledge. Like, the real magical people don't necessarily even need those books. They just need keys that remind them of what's in there. I reckon these people were just under spiritual psychosis. That's what I saw. But I shouldn't call people crazy because then it'll bounce back on me, won't it? But why wouldn't I be crazy? You know, like it's fun. All you normal people out there are a little bit fucking boring, I would say. Get a bit of wild in your life. Speak to your guides. Get in touch with that ancient knowledge that you've got running through your veins. So we think, so we create.